Mr. Speaker, will the sponsor yield to a question?
He will yield.
Mr. Sponsor, if a parent has enough income to send their child to private school, does this apply?
Gentleman from Lincoln.
It applies to any school that falls under the Kentucky Board of Education.
Will he yield to a second question?
He will yield another question.
If a student says to a teacher, please don't tell my parents, they'll put me out just like they put out my brother, does the teacher have any discretion not to talk to the parents?
Gentleman from Lincoln.
If they feel that there is a validity there for abuse or neglect, they do not.
Lady from Jefferson.
Will he yield to a question?
He will yield another question.
This bill has been pointed out. It has a hodgepodge of stuff. A little bit of this, insurance, guidance, associations. It has a whole lot of different legal areas. So the question is there anything in this bill that will protect students from gun violence?
Gentleman from Lincoln.
There is nothing in this bill that relates to gun violence specifically. It's not relevant to this bill.
Lady from Jefferson.
Will he yield to another question?
He will yield a question.
Will the sponsor please define sexual identification?
Gentleman from Lincoln.
I think that sexual identification is what you identify as.
Lady from Jefferson.
Thank you. One last question.
He will yield another question.
Thank you. Earlier, the sponsor said that a parent could not consent to another parent's child getting sexual education. Could he explain that portion of the bill? Why can't the parent consent to education in the classroom?
Gentleman from Lincoln.
They are consenting to education in the classroom. They are consenting to their own child. And if they do not consent, it says that the school will make accommodations for that child to be able to be taught a different curriculum.
Lady from Jefferson.
May I speak on the bill?
Yes, ma'am.
Our government was designed to be for the people, by the people, to serve the people. And every day we come in here and in God we trust, we say a pledge and a prayer. And this bill is neither godly nor is it the government. We think we know what other people should be doing with their kids, and not one person in this room will allow anybody to come into your house and say what to do with your kid. And if you will do that, raise your hand so I've got a whole bunch of stuff you can do. It is an abomination that the Bible is used consistently on this floor. People are crying tears about God, and then when we tell you what the Bible says, love your neighbor, do for others, follow the golden rules, thou shalt do this, you don't do it. As far as I can tell, when I read the Bible, he said, go out and love people the way I've loved you, and I'll take care of the result. He says, take care of the least of these. Help the people that need them. Help the widows. Love people. The word love is mentioned over 500 times. The greatest of these is love. But y'all got opinions about everything, which is not why we're here, to be for the people, by the people, to serve the people. Now, I would feel a little differently if you had evidence that you let the government come in your house and tell you what to do, if you let your neighbors come in the house and tell you what to do, but nobody on this floor lets anybody tell you what to do, let alone the Dems. How dare you use my God for things against his people? I promise you, all the preachers in here talking about God's love, he sort of wants you to show it and not talk about it. He didn't say love everybody except the people you don't like, except trans people, except children, people of color, except the disabled. He didn't say that. He said love everybody. And then we spend a whole bunch of time trying to destroy everybody. And if it wasn't destruction, why'd you do it in the heat of the night? Why can't the people of Kentucky who put us here have the right to vote and know what's in this addendum? Why are you hiding? What are you hiding? Stop doing the thing that they send us here to do, which is to represent them and not your own personal peeves. If you don't want to have an abortion, don't have one. If you don't want to be bothered with trans kids, don't. But how dare you tell other people, other parents that bear the responsibility for their children what they must do according to your wishes and not God's wishes.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 34.